Yo, what is up guys, Gray here, and today we've got our Week 9 battle of the UPA. We're going up against SW087 and their Kentucky Keldeos, and before we get into anything, make sure to go and show my opponent some love. His link will be down in the description below, as well as all the other coaches in the UPA for this season. But getting into this one, my opponent is 5-3 -3, we're also at 5-3, but we're at +6 differential, so we're a little bit better off in differential department. He has lost quite heavily when he has lost, and won very narrow, by very narrow margins when he has won. So yeah, this game is certainly not going to be easy. He has a very scary team, but we need to win this one to try and really secure our place in playoffs. At the moment, we are sitting like one win above the borderline. So getting this win could really push us up in the table. Also kind of means that we only need to win one of our last 3 games to be able to secure playoffs, or at least have a very good chance of securing playoffs. So this game is really a big one for both of us. So we're going to be bringing a pretty strong team. I don't think this is one that I can really kind of prep weirdly or badly, I guess, to prevent us having the same matchup in playoffs and showing all of our hand. I think we do need to kind of prep pretty well for this one, just to make sure that we don't end up missing out on playoffs because we brought a team that was suboptimal against my opponent. But anyway, let's get straight into this team matchup. So his team is Clefable, Zygarde, Arcanine, Crobat, Heliolisk, Armaldo, Gallade, Quagsire, Vanillux, Roselia, and G-Max Corviknight. So he's got the standard OU core, or used to be standard OU core, of Corviknight, Clefable, and Zygarde, which is absolutely terrifying. Of course, he has the extra bonus of it being a G-Max Corviknight as well, so even more scary on top of that. It's going to be a really difficult core to break for our team, but we do have things that hopefully can kind of do what it needs to do against this team. One thing I noticed is that this team doesn't really have too much in terms of Dark Resist. His only Dark Resist being Clefable. So Urshifu immediately looks incredible in this matchup. But outside of that, there was quite a lot of things that really struggled to have a good role in this game. I felt like Swampert and Tangrowth were pretty good for dealing with Zygarde. There was things on my team like Exploud that were pretty good for breaking through. But yeah, his team is looking really, really scary. A lot of tier 4s in his team. Vanillux and Gallade, I think, are probably 2 that could definitely come to this game. Vanillux can just spam Blizzards, can set up the Aurora Veil, which makes Zygarde opportunities to set up much more free. Gallade has a really good matchup against our team. It can pretty much, it breaks down our wall cores very easily. It's very difficult for us to switch around. And also, he has things like Arcanine, which is pretty good defensively against our team. Not amazing, I would say it's alright. Crobat is decent against our team. Heliolisk could be a big problem. We do have our ways of trying to deal with that. But Heliolisk could be an issue, especially with Choice Scarf. It outspeeds a lot of our team and could definitely do a lot of damage with its Dual Stabs plus... I think Dual Stabs plus Surf looks like it does the most damage. Armaldo is like a potential pick. I don't think it will turn up, but I've seen weirder things, and that is one of his better hazard removers. Also, one of, if not his only stealth rocker. He's got Clefable as well. Clefable is a very solid stealth rocker, so yeah, if he doesn't bring Armaldo, then rocks will probably be on the Clefable. Outside of that, he has got the Quagsire, which could turn up, but I think it doesn't have the greatest matchup. Outside of being able to deal with things like Swampert, it can deal with the Zeraora as long as it's not running Grass Knot. Doesn't really take hits from Urshifu particularly well, and it's not got the greatest matchup, it's just alright. And Roselia, honestly, I'd be surprised this turns up. It'll be Toxic Spike, potentially just Spikes as well. I think it'll be a Hazard Stacker if it's going to turn up, but its matchup, honestly, is not that great. So we can probably take advantage of Roselia quite easily. So the 6 I think he'll bring, probably Clefable, Zygarde, say probably Clefable, definitely Clefable, Zygarde, and G-Max Corviknight. If I had to pick from the rest of his pieces, I would say Gallade is almost a definite. Then I think it'd probably be Arcanine, Heliolisk, potentially going to see Vanillux over the the Arcanine, I'd say. I think Heliolisk is a pretty good bring against my team. Actually, it would be Grass, not Oversurf on Heliolisk, just to deal with the Swampert. But I think Heliolisk got a pretty good matchup. I think the Vanillux actually has a fantastic matchup, being able to spam Freeze Dries and Blizzards against pretty much my entire team. I don't have too many things to be able to switch into that, because my Steel type doesn't resist Ice, and my Water type doesn't appreciate the Freeze Dry, so Vanillux could be a bit of a problem, but we do have our ways of trying to deal with it. Moving on to our team, first up we have got our Zeraora with Leftovers, running a very bulky set. I know it's adamant, but it's certainly not running much attack. It's only running 12 EVs in attack. Max HP, a little bit in defense, and a lot into special defense. Running enough speed, I want to say, just to outspeed. Looks like a speed creep on my Urshifu, I want to say. So I think I'm just creeping anything that's creeping Urshifu. With the Plasma Fist, Play Rough, Taunt, and Toxic, more of a defensive or more of a utility Zeraora this week. Plasma Fist and Play Rough actually hits a lot of his team. So it hits Clefable for good damage, Play Rough hits a Zygarde, Plasma Fist hits Arcanine, Crobat, Play Rough hits Heliolisk, Plasma Fist hits Armaldo and Gallade, whilst Play Rough, albeit not doing too much to Quagsire, it can hit that. And then, Plasma Fist obviously hits the Corviknight for very good damage. It could be Weakness Policy. If it's Weakness Policy, it's a bit of an issue, but it can't set up speed without using Agility. So as long as we can prevent the Agility, I think we're in a pretty good spot. And I think that if he is Weakness Policy, he's probably just going to be like Agility, maybe Bulk Up. I don't think he's got Bulk Up as well. It's almost like Corviknight has too many moves it has to run this week to be able to actually do anything. I think its best set is probably Body Press, Power Trip with Bulk Up and Roost. But that means it's always getting outsped by a lot of my team, so it can be revenge killed quite easily. Taunt is to prevent the Corviknight from being able to Roost. Also prevents hazards from things like Roselia, prevents recovery from Quagsire. Stealth Rock on the Armaldo, as well as Stealth Rock and potential Wish / Soft Boiled from the Clefable. He has a lot of reliable recovery, but only the Crobat should outspeed me. So I can get a Taunt off of anything else that I believe is going to go for a recover move. And also then we've got the Toxic to be able to hit the Zygarde and the Quagsire, because a bit of chip damage on those is going to be really, really nice. If he's anticipating the electric type moves, then he'd probably go into one of his ground types. Being able to Toxic and just slowly wear away those will be amazing. And he's not switching in his poison type on my his poison type or his steel type on my Zeraora, because both of them are weak to Plasma Fists. So Zeraora just has a really nice matchup as a utility sort of mon this week. I'm not expecting it to get many kills, but it should be able to do a job. It's really my best way of checking things like Heliolisk and the Gmax Corviknight, as well as being able to kind of bust through Clefable, just to kind of give Urshifu a bit more space to breathe. Next up we've got our Gmax Duraludon. Holding the Weakness Policy, we are just max special attack, max HP this week. Flash Cannon, Draco Meteor, Thunderbolt, and Thunderwave. Thunderwave is just really nice for anything that kind of gets set up. It's not necessarily going to be like the best move against his team, but I did want a max guard move just in case he brought out his Gmax Corviknight. I can prevent an attack raise from the max knuckle, and I can also pretty effectively cripple it with Thunderwave as well once I'm out of Gmax. Especially if he is an agility set, then I'm going to be able to make sure that it's slower than things like my Zeraora, slower than my Urshifu, and it's just going to be able to do a ton of damage as well. The combination of Steel, Dragon, Electric pretty much goes unresisted by his entire team. His defensive core entirely loses to it. Arcanine, if we pop the Weakness Policy, is not going to want to take a Gmax Depletion. Crobat dies to the Thunderbolt, Heliolisk is frail anyway. Armaldo dies to Flash Cannon, Gallade dies to probably a Flash Cannon as well, or the Gmax variant, they Steel Spike. Quagsire is probably like one of the few things that can actually take a hit, especially if it's unaware. It's probably not going to take, I would say it probably takes about half from Gmax Depletion. Vanillux and Roselia are both going to die as well, so Duraludon's typing in this matchup with the electric coverage is just fantastic. I didn't need a 4th move necessarily. I could have run the Solar Beam to hit the Quagsire, but I didn't feel like that was like all that necessary this week, because I think I've got a lot of other things on my team that can effectively deal with the Quagsire much better. So we just wouldn't pop the Gmax until the Quagsire is down, because then we're just going to be wasting it. Once it's in its Gmax form and it gets a weakness policy boost, there's very little that's going to be able to stop it. With max HP, it does take 1,000 arrows into a close combat, unless both are banded, or both are Life Orb, I think it is. So it can take a lot of hits, this Duraludon, especially when it's in Gmax, and can quite easily just knock something out. We could use this early game just to kind of break through his defensive core, or we could use it just to sweep up late game. So yeah, Duraludon looks incredible in this match. Next up, we have got a new acquisition. We have picked up Center Scorch over Colossal. As much as I love Colossal, and it's been a loyal servant in the 1 game or 2 games that it's turned up, it really just didn't have a role in the last 4 games. 4 games? 9, 10, 11, 12? Yeah, 4 games of the season. And I know I'm losing my hazards and I'm losing my hazard removal, but since I was looking at it and I wasn't bringing Colossal to any of those games that were remaining anyway, I'm not necessarily losing anything by picking up Center Scorch instead. I'm gaining a Pokemon that I'm actually going to bring over a Pokemon I'm not going to bring, and I don't lose anything because I'm not going to bring Colossal anyway. So the hazard removal and the hazards really weren't going to help me in those last games. So yeah, we pick up Center Scorch, which in my opinion is just a much better Pokemon. I've used it before and it's just really, really good. And this week, its matchup is actually kind of solid. It's not incredible, but it does give me a nice defensive core with my Swampert this week. Heavy Duty Boots, of course, for the Stealth Rocks that I'm 100% are coming, because Center Scorch is actually pretty good at checking things like Clefable. Flash Fire to be able to switch into the Arcanine. It shouldn't be able to do anything to me. Adamant Nature with a lot of defensive investment, and a lot of Spadef as well. Max HP with 76 in defense, 116 in Spadef. A little bit of speed as well, just to be able to outspeed things that were base 70. I'm just having a quick look. I think it was just to outspeed Gmax Corviknight actually. So I think it's to speed creep, a potential speed, like if he puts a little bit of speed into Corviknight, I just kind of gone over to be able to beat that. So it has to go, forgo quite a bit of bulk to be able to outspeed me. And the Adamant Nature just means that I'm doing as much damage as possible. And we've got Fire Lash, Power Whip, Knockoff, and Scold. I was back and forth about whether I wanted to have a Rest Talk set this week, but I felt like it really kind of made me lack coverage to hit things, or lack utility more. Fire Lash into Power Whip hits a lot of things on his team. Like Fire Lash twice will be doing a lot of damage to Clefable. Fire Lash into Power Whip hits the Zygarde for about half, I want to say. Also, Knockoff is really good against that, unless it's running Rock Slide, then it's a bit of a problem. Arcanine, like I said, can't really do too much to me, so knocking that off, knocking off potential Heavy Duty Boots or whatever, that's great for me. Crobat, again, like Crobat's one of the few things that really does hurt me, but Crobat's matchup looks kind of bad. It's not awful, but I don't think he wants to bring 2 flying types against Zeraora. So yeah, Crobat I think might just sit on the bench, and if we see Crobat, then we've got to play differently. That's just how it is. Heliolisk doesn't take Fire Lash. Then Scold is also really nice because a lot of his Mons are physical attackers. Gmax Corviknight, Glade, Crobat, Zygarde, they're all physical attackers, and I think there's a strong chance that all of them turn up. So having that Scold is just really nice to potentially get burns. Could have gone Will-O-Wisp, but at the same time I don't want to do no damage at all. I'd rather have like a little bit of damage against things like Zygarde, and it's also super effective against Armaldo. I'd rather have that damage and the potential to burn than just have Will-O-Wisp and guarantee burn. It also could miss, so yeah. That's why we've got Scold. Knockoff is just really spammable, Fire Lash is really spammable, and Power Whip, honestly, is just for the ground types more than anything else. Next up, we've got our Swampert. Like I said, bringing Swampert this week. With the leftovers, we are running a very defensive set this week. With Relaxed Nature, and it's got an interesting set. Flip Turn, Earthquake, Ice Beam, and Protect. I am running stats in everything but speed, so we are going to be outsped by the Clefable, but that's fine, because we take Clefable's hits just like no problem at all, and we can get a slow Flip Turn against it. If he decides to teleport, then we outspeed anyway, and we'll be able to tell that it's teleporting because we're going to be slower, or we should be slower than Clefable. Flip Turn gives me really nice momentum against his team, as well as hitting things like the Arcanine for super effective damage. Like Water is not incredible in this matchup. He has a lot of things to check Water type, but Flip Turn is just really nice for momentum. It also means that if he does, for some reason, bring Roselia, we aren't then kind of walled by it, and then he can set up his hazards. I'd rather be in a position where I could just Flip Turn, get out, bring in Sense Scorch, and immediately be able to throw off a Fire Lash. Earthquake is nice. Hits things like the Roselia, the Vanillux, the Quagsire, the Amaldo, the Gallade, for as much damage as you possibly can, as well as knocking out the Heliolisk. If he roosts with his Crobat, then that's gone. Arcanine does a lot of damage. Earthquake does a lot of damage to Arcanine, and it also does the most damage to Clefable. Then we've got Ice Beam. Ice Beam hits a lot of his team, actually. Zygarde, Crobat, and the Roselia are all things that potentially, well, Crobat and Roselia could switch into this. So having that Ice Beam is really, really nice. It does a lot more damage to Zygarde, especially if it's a coil set. I wanted to make sure that I had the special move to be able to hit that, and we did obviously lose out on the speed, but I actually found out that's quite nice in this matchup, just to be able to kind of play around Clef. And yeah, it's just a really nice defensive check. Checks things like Zygarde, checks Arcanine that's not running Power Herb Solar Beam, can check Crobat, checks Armaldo, can check Gallade as long as Gallade doesn't have the Leaf Blade. That could be a bit problematic if we come against that. It doesn't check the Roselia or the Vanillux at all, but can be used to waste a turn of Gmax Corviknight's Gmax, or waste all of its turns if he stays in. So yeah, Swampert is just a really nice defensive check. It's also like a failsafe against Zygarde, because Zygarde had to set up to +4 or 5 to be able to OHKO us, and we can always get the hit off in return. Next up, we have got our Choice Scarf Gardevoir with the Synchronized Nature, because honestly, Trace didn't have too much use this week. I think that might have been a mistake. I think I probably should have been running Trace, but oh well, it's Gen now, so it is what it is. I guess if he runs Toxic on anything, then we're good. Trace would have been nicer, just be able to trace things like potential Intimidate, potential Magic Guard, or Unaware. Again, he's got 2 Unaware Mons. Pressure would have been nice. Yeah, there's lots of things. Natural Cure would have been pretty good. So yeah, we should have been tracing this game, but you know what? It's fine. I don't think Gardevoir is necessarily looking to trace too many abilities in this game, so it is what it is. We'll just go with it. Modest Nature with enough speed to outspeed Crobat, I think. Max speed Crobat. With the Choice Scarf, of course. Psychic, Moonblast, Thunderbolt, and Healing Wish. Much like Duraludon with Steel and Dragon with Electric, Psychic Fairy with Electric hits a lot of his team as well. Clefable is hit neutrally but doesn't appreciate Modest Psychic as well, because I expect it to be a physically defensive Clefable to deal with my Urshifu. It's not going to appreciate Modest Psychic at all. Psychic is very spammable against his team. He does not have a Dark type, so his only Psychic time switching is the Corviknight. Is a Gmax Corviknight. Moonblast hits the Gallade and it hits the Zygarde for the most damage. Honestly, those two are pretty threatening, so I wanted that coverage. Then Thunderbolt hits the Gmax Corviknight that we can't hit with our 2 stabs. And Healing Wish is just nice in case we need to bring something back up from near death. It's always good to have Healing Wish on a Choice Scarf Gardevoir, just because you never know what the matchup's going to end up going like. And having that ability to effectively just bring a Pokemon back to full health is phenomenal. Gardevoir honestly just looks like a really nice cleaner in this matchup. If we can get rid of the Gmax Corviknight early, we can spam Psychic all we want, and he has very little to be able to switch into it. Outside like maybe Spadef Quagsire, and I mean if he brings Spadef Clef, then he loses to Urshifu. So I don't think he's bringing Spadef Clef. And of course that means that our last mon is Urshifu. With the Life Orb this week and a Jolly Nature, Wicked Blow, Sucker Punch, Poison Jab, and Ice Punch. Don't need the fighting coverage this week because honestly it was just kind of bad. Wicked Blow breaks through the things that the fighting type coverage would have been there to hit. Vanillux doesn't appreciate Wicked Blow at all. It goes through the Aurora Veil as well, so it's still doing a ton of damage. And Heliolisk also is just super frail, so it's not taking the Wicked Blow at all. Sucker Punch is nice for priority, and just in case that Zygarde doesn't have extreme speed and gets set up too far, it can also outspeed things like the Crobat, which is going to be really nice because Crobat is a bit of a threat to Urshifu. It doesn't switch in, but it can come in and revenge kill. And then we've got Poison Jab, specifically for the Clefable. It will 2-hit KO a physically defensive Clefable. And Ice Punch is obviously just there for things like Zygarde, the Crobat. And we don't necessarily have super effective damage on quite a few things on his team. But Wicked Blow is just that powerful that it doesn't matter. If he runs Bulk Up to Corviknight, then once it comes out of his G-Max, as long as I've weakened it enough, it's going to drop to a Wicked Blow. It takes like 50%. Even if it's max defense, it still takes like 50% from Wicked Blow, which is just kind of nuts, but that is just Urshifu for you. And yeah, that's going to be our team for this week. We definitely need to win this one. I think we are bringing kind of what we need to win. I would have loved to have had Exploud on this team, because like I said, his team is just not the most specially defensive, and Boom Burst would have just torn through this team. But at the same time, he did have quite a few things that outsped and could do a lot of damage in return, and I just felt like the other pieces on my team were more critical than Exploud were. But hopefully we don't come to regret that. But we'll see. Hopefully it's just a good battle. That's all I want. I just want a good battle against someone without having any hacks this week will be really nice. After, well, we've had a couple of games where we've got a bit lucky recently. So yeah, I will see you guys in the battle. Okay, so here we are for the battle, and it's getting a little bit late. So you're going to get some grey SMR, because Ellie, I know she's just woken up and gone to the toilet, but I know she's going to be going back to sleep soon. I don't want to keep her awake, so yeah, you're going to be getting a little bit closer to my mouth for this game against SW087 and his team. Kentucky Keldeos, that's it. Yeah, so he brings Roselia, which I definitely didn't expect, but like now I see it, Toxic Spikes could be an issue. Clefable, Arcanine, Corviknight, Zygarde, and Glade. He doesn't seem to have a whole lot to be able to break through my Center Scorch, which is kind of nice. I kind of wish I brought Restalk now, because that would have been ideal. I think I just want to lead off of it to try and prevent the hazards going up, because Toxic Spike's going to be a little bit annoying in this game. Yeah, I'm just going to lead off with my Center Scorch. Don't see any reason not to. And I'm going to apologise now if the audio levels aren't great, because I didn't do a test before this. I just had the mic closer to my face than I normally would. So yeah, hopefully it's fine. And we're going to see what he wants to lead off with. Like, looking at his team, he doesn't really have too much to break through. The combination of Swampert and Center Scorch, but then at the same time, like, we're going to struggle to break through the combination of Clefable and Zygarde and Corviknight, of course. Good luck, have fun to my opponent. And after last week's battle, let's hope for a no crit battle this time, because yeah, that really sucked that I got the crit on that. Leads off with the Glade. I mean, he could have the rock move, so I'm going to try and scout out for that. I think I just go straight out to my Swampert, because yeah, I don't want to be hit by a rock slide on turn 1. And I don't think he's going to go for anything else, maybe like a Psycho Cut or something. Zen Headbutt, okay. This is fine, we get to scout damage. It's looking fairly offensive, to be expected. I kind of just want to go for a flip turn. He could have Leaf Blade as well. With that, I think I want to just go back into my Center Scorch, just to scout if he's got Leaf Blade or not. If he doesn't, if he goes for Zen Headbutt again, then that's a good play on his part. Yeah, he has got Leaf Blade, okay. And we are Flash Flyer, not Flame Body, so we don't have any chance of actually... no chance of getting the burn on that turn. This is going to be a little bit annoying. How much is Glade doing to this? 52 to 62. Is that damage I want to take? Not particularly. Like, I don't have the greatest switch-ins to this thing, so I might just have to take that damage. I might just have to take it, and I think I just Fire Lash on this turn. You can Zen Headbutt. This will do a good amount of damage. And I get flinched. That's super unfortunate. Okay. Well, Center Scorch would have been really nice in this game, but unfortunately it's so weakened now. Like, I wish I'd just gone into something else that would have made a lot more sense, but it is what it is. Getting kind of unlucky on this. I'm just going to go out into my Duraludon. If he goes for the close combat, then fair enough. Like, this early game has really not been great for me. It just goes for Zen Headbutt. And honestly, I kind of just want to get this Dynamax off early. The close combat is definitely coming in. Definitely coming in. Do I kill this at +2? Yeah, by all means I should kill this at +2. Do I kill it with a Flash Cannon or Steel Spike? I think I just go for the Steel Spike here. Don't know why I clicked that, because there's a chance that this doesn't kill at +2. I'm really not playing well in this early game. Really not playing well. Okay, no, Steel Spike should kill. I see that he's not Life Orb. So close combat will hurt, but it won't kill me. Drain Punch won't do too much. And yeah, we're going to get to proper weakness policy. This should absolutely kill. There's no reason this shouldn't kill. This could be Sash. No, it's not. Cool. Well, we get rid of the Glade. We can get our Center Scorch back into this later on, should we need to. If we can Healing Wish later on in the game with our Gardevoir. Right, in hindsight, Glade was a good lead for him, so yeah. It goes into the Arcanine. Does Arcanine really want to take this? Arcanine, it's just max HP. Doesn't take the depletion well at all. We should take a close combat from here. Unless he's like... Okay, Scorching Sands, we should take that as well. We do get burned, but that's, you know, not the end of the world at all. And this should knock out Arcanine. Okay, so we get 2 to start off this game, which is kind of nice. But he can pretty much go into anything on his team and knock me out now. I don't know if I want to keep this as fodder or not. If he goes Zygarde, then I can go into my Swampert. I think I can go Swampert and then just flip turn, expecting the Roselia to come in. Just go into Zygarde. And I am going to preserve this and just go out into my Swampert. Get to scout out what kind of set he's running as well on this. I expect it to be like either Choice Band or Dragon Dance. Goes for 1,000 arrows. We can scout this damage. That put me down from 147. So 71 down to 88. About 30, yeah, it's looking like... I'm just going to quick step down. Because I don't really want Roselia to come in. I really don't want Roselia to come in. He's going to switch, so we get the initiative here. Fat Gum is the Clefable, cool. That did a lot of damage. Okay, that's a crit. I was about to say that did so much damage. Honestly, what's he got left? Not a lot that really appreciates Center Scorch, so yeah, I could just go Center Scorch here. Center Scorch and maybe Knockoff. I quite like Knockoff. Okay, so maybe the Zygarde comes in here. And if not, then it's really nice to knock off the item on this Clefable. I'm pretty sure it's going to be like physically defensive for my Urshifu, so potentially Babiri Berry, because we didn't see leftovers. Babiri, I mean Keldeos. So knocking off Keldeos will be amazing. We are going to knock off. We're going to see that it's Babiri. It is Babiri. Okay. Sets up the rocks, that's fine by me. Interesting that he didn't go to this a little earlier, but I'm just going to Fire Lash on this turn. Because it's still nice to weaken the Zygarde. Should bring it in? And it should do a good amount of damage. Yeah, it does. Means that it can't soft boiled. You got a Wish. He can definitely protect on this turn. He's either protecting or he's going out into Zygarde. I kind of want to go into my Swampert, but I do also want to keep Swampert healthier. Yeah, I'm just going to go Swampert. If he does go for the Moonblast here, then that's a solid play. I'm kind of expecting to protect. I'd love to get another flip turn off. He's going to withdraw. And it goes into Zygarde, cool. So he called that play right. Do we outspeed Roselia? I doubt it. I think Roselia is actually fairly quick. 65, yeah, that should outspeed me. Do I want to go for the Ice Beam? I mean, Ice Beam is fairly free. I flip turned last time, so maybe he thinks he's safer to stay in. But also, Ice Beam is nice on the Clefable. He's going to withdraw. And goes into what I would assume is a Roselia. Which is fine by me, like, it's still going to take this Ice Beam. Just a pretty good chunk. Let me just get a little bit more leftovers, so we're back at a reasonable amount of health. I think we should be able to take 2,000 arrows at this point. And honestly, I think I should go into my Center Scorch. Because, like, Center Scorch is really good. Still at just being able to chip things away. Just gets up the spikes, so this is going to be, like, had to stack in. Which is kind of fine. It's not ideal by any means, but it's also kind of fine. I think I want to just Scold. Do I want to Scold? Predicting the Zygarde to come in. It seems like a bit of a bold play. I can just knock off. I think knock off is fine. It's going to withdraw, I'd assume, to the Zygarde, and to Fat Gum again. Okay.
So we can just knock off. Kind of unfortunate, but now I'm just going to go for a Fire Lash here. You can definitely go into the Zygarde if you want to. The Fire Lash should take this out. And that is his best check to my Urshifu gone. So Urshifu is now looking pretty nice. Let's go into Paradise Lost. And I'm on 112 with my Swampert. So 54, about 30%. Yeah, I'm just going to go back out to Swampert. Because Center Scorch is still really nice for the Roselia. And it's boots, so it's not taking any damage from hazards. It's a very easy, like, obvious switch, and you can go for a. Oh yeah, after spikes we're definitely not taking 2. You can just go for a Dragon Dance here. Do I take a Dragon Dance, a +1? Do I take this hit? You realistically can't Dragon Dance again. That's Zygarde. +1. +1 is doing 44. I'm on 87, 42. So I'm going to protect on this turn. If he Dragon Dances again, then that's a fantastic play on his part. He just 1,000 arrows, so we do now have a chance to live this hit. We're up to what, like 100? 99. 48, it's like a min-roll, like a mid-roll to knock me out here. So I'm just going to go for Ice Beam. Just kind of got to hope that he doesn't knock me out here. Oh, we live on 3. And we get the Ice Beam off. This should do a good chunk. Yeah, that's doing a lot of damage. And we freeze. I'm so sorry. Oh my god, what is our luck? Like, that just sucks. That really sucks. Because, like, he would definitely have knocked me out on this turn. Hopefully in 4s he doesn't fall. I'm sorry. Like, I hate winning with hacks. Like, it's so rough. Like, I hate winning with hacks, but it's the game we play, unfortunately, and I'm sure it'll come back to bite me at some point. But yeah, it's like 10% chance to get the freeze there, and that's kind of nuts. Like, we do have Sucker Punch. We have Sucker Punch on Urshifu, so it would come down to Mind Games probably. I think, I don't know, maybe Urshifu lives one. Oh, Urshifu definitely lives one. So, like, it matters for differential. It doesn't matter for the overall score of the game, I don't think. But at the same time, that just sucks. What's he got left? He's got Corviknight, which is still a threat. Corviknight and his... yeah, and this thing. I'm fairly sure I can just go into my Center Scorch and click Fire Lash. He doesn't really have a switch into that. Just gonna Sludge Bomb. This will do a good chunk. And just get a poison. Center Scorch. Gets Corv. Obviously I'd love to get this damage off. Hopefully I'm quicker. Yeah, I am. And this should knock it out. So just the Corviknight left, and weirdly enough, I don't think this game is actually done. How much is my Wicked Blow doing to Corviknight? So we are going to lose our Center Scorch here. Yeah, I'm just going to go into my Zeraora. Wicked Blow do 62 to 71 to specially defensive. So he's going to send out his Corviknight here, which could definitely be weakness policy. We take a good amount of damage from that. But we pretty much got a Plasma Fists. Zera Aura, like if it's Dynamax, it's for death, then we're not actually doing that much damage. If it's Fizz Death, we're still not doing that much damage. Like, you can definitely bring this back. You can definitely bring it back. I don't believe this game is over. He shouldn't be able to one-shot me, though, with anything. So realistically, we should get 2 Plasma Fists off. But yeah, again, like I say, I'm so sorry about the... Okay, he's Wakamberry. That doesn't do too much. And he is Max Knuckle. Okay, so he's got Body Press. It's good to know. That probably 2-shots us, from the looks of it. Probably does. We are very bulky on this. After the lefties, I don't think we do get 2-shot. But this should definitely put it in range of Wicked Blow. Once the max is gone. If we live this one, then I don't know it really matters, because then we just go Urshifu afterwards and click Wicked Blow and win. But if we don't live this, then it's a little bit closer. But yeah, that freeze was definitely rough. Definitely rough. This Plasma Fish should do a good chunk. Not even putting it under half. Hopefully this one doesn't kill me. It doesn't, okay. So regardless, we should be able to just come in and click Wicked Blow after this and pick up the final kill. So it does look like we're going to win this game. The freeze, I think, definitely affected differential. I think it would be 3-0 instead of 4-0. Other than that, I don't know. I don't think it made a massive amount of difference. It would just entirely depend on his set. He's going to have a Steel Spike. It's really not going to matter. Just because Urshifu now comes in and clicks Wicked Blow regardless. Unless this thing is Choice Scarf. No, we saw Wakamberry. So yeah, he's going to come out of Dynamax now. And Urshifu should pick up this last kill. So Urshifu actually hits the field in this game. Even if it is the last turn of the game that it comes in. Yeah, we just put Wicked Blow. And we're going to pick up a 4-0 win. Unless the thing is super speedy. I don't know, even if it was super speedy, it wasn't outspeeding me, but yeah, good game to my opponent. I do apologise for the hacks. That freeze definitely sucked. But like I said, I think I still had a good chance of living that hit. And he wasn't, as far as I'm aware, not knocking me out with 1,000 arrows at all. Unless he had something more wild in the back that he could click. Excuse me. Then yeah, I don't think that mattered all that much outside of differential. But, you know, it sucks that I keep getting hacks in these games. I honestly don't want it. I keep getting the hacks. But we're going to win and go to 6-3 plus 10. I think plus 10. Let me just quickly have a look at the league table prior to this. Yeah, 6-3 plus 10 puts us in a really solid position to get playoffs with 3 weeks left to go. Next week we go up against our good friend Mid Pokemaster and his Alabama rollout, so I'm really looking forward to that one. And hopefully we don't get any hacks in that one, because I'm starting to feel really bad about all the hacks I'm getting, because it's just been crazy amounts. But yeah, good game again to my opponent. Make sure to go and check out their side of the battle. Their link will be down in the description below, as well as all the other coaches in the UPA. I'm sure I said that in the team builder, but I'll say it again, why not? For those who skipped the team builder, you get to have all this sort of stuff as well. Make sure to like and subscribe if you did enjoy the battle, and until the next one, have a great day guys. Peace.